Kyle Hamilton left practice early, and now it's been confirmed. He's going to be out for a while. What at first looked like just a scare is taking a new turn. And the latest info that just came out reveals exactly what's going on with one of the Ravens' most important defensive players. The vibe in Baltimore has shifted. Fans are on edge. The coaching staff acted fast, and behind the scenes, things are moving in a way nobody expected. What Coach John Harbaugh said about this injury could completely change how the team approaches the rest of training camp. And if you think it's just a simple rest, you'll want to hear this all the way through. If there's one player Ravens fans don't want to see hurt, it's Kyle Hamilton. Then, out of nowhere, he leaves practice early, and the next day he's not even on the field. The news spread fast. The All-Pro safety missed 2 straight practices. And naturally, alarms started ringing in Baltimore. When one of your defensive pillars is out like that, everyone pays attention. The first question on everyone's mind? What happened to him? Luckily, it doesn't look too serious. Coach John Harbaugh was straightforward when asked. He said it's just one of those normal training camp things. The team chose to take it easy and let his body recover. Better to hold him back now than risk turning a small issue into something big. Still, even with that calm tone, you can understand the worry. Hamilton is a key piece of this team, the kind of player who changes games, locks down the backfield, and lets others shine. So even if this looks minor, you can never be too careful. Nobody wants to relive the injury nightmares from past seasons at critical moments. And that's exactly why how Harbaugh handled this caught everyone's attention. John Harbaugh didn't hold back. When asked about Kyle, he was honest. He said the decision to pull the safety from practice was purely out of caution. No point in turning a small issue into something bigger. It's one of those camp situations, he said. In other words, better to rest him now than lose one of the team's most valuable players later on. The message is clear. The Ravens are playing it way safer this training camp. And honestly, that makes total sense. We've seen how a minor injury in August can become a nightmare by October. Harbaugh knows that. So if it means sitting a key player, even if he seems fine, that's the move. And honestly, that sounds like the smartest call, especially given the recent injury history of this team. Over the past few years, injuries have hit almost every position, defense especially. The coaching staff has painfully learned it's better to prevent problems than to fix them mid-season. Every step now is calculated, every practice monitored, and any sign of trouble means hitting pause. But all this caution also reveals a tough truth. If Hamilton ends up sidelined longer, the defense could be in serious trouble. Let's be real. If Kyle Hamilton has to miss a few weeks, the Ravens defense is going to feel it, big time. It's not just losing an elite talent. Behind him, the depth starts to thin out fast, especially now that Darius Washington is out for the season with an Achilles injury. That leaves the secondary with fewer options and a lot more pressure on those who remain. Who's next up? Sanusi Kane, a rookie taken in the 7th round. No shade on the kid. He might surprise us, but asking to fill in for an All-Pro right at the start of the season? That's a tall order, especially facing high-level offenses. Production would drop off. And in an AFC that's only getting tougher, those kind of details can cost you crucial wins. That's where Hamilton's value shines. He's not just a good player. He's a guy who runs the defense back there, reads plays, and shows up in the clutch moments. Losing a piece like that changes everything. Communication breaks down. Reaction time slow. The whole defensive scheme struggles without him calling the shots, which is why the Ravens are avoiding any unnecessary risk, including with their starters in the upcoming preseason game.
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video, but before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
John Harbaugh confirmed it. The Ravens starters won't take the field in their preseason opener against the Colts. This isn't a random decision. It fits perfectly with the cautious approach the team is taking this training camp. The priority now is to keep everyone healthy, and if that means sitting the stars, so be it. The debate over playing starters in preseason games is nothing new. Some teams want their guys on the field to get rhythm. Others, like Baltimore, prefer to protect him at all costs. Considering the Ravens' recent injury history, it's easy to see why. They've lost too many players in meaningless games over the years. Plus, with a roster this strong and deep in 2025, the real challenge isn't getting the team clicking. It's arriving in September intact. Harbaugh gets that. This choice to hold back starters shows the coaching staff is fully committed to safeguarding their most valuable assets. Because when it comes down to it, the biggest obstacle between the Ravens and a Super Bowl isn't the competition. It's the injury list. The truth is, the Ravens have a team ready to compete for a title. The foundation is solid, the roster deep, and the locker room tight. But there's one thing that could derail all of that quickly. Injuries. Baltimore knows this better than anyone. That's why every move right now is guided by one mindset. Protect your own. If someone feels even a little tweak, they're pulled from practice. If the field conditions are bad, practice gets adjusted. If a preseason opponent isn't worth the risk, the starters stay on the sidelines. This isn't cowardice. It's smart football. The Ravens have learned the hard way that building a championship roster means nothing if your key guys can't take the field when it counts. This philosophy might frustrate fans who want to see everyone out there all the time. But when the real season kicks off and the Ravens have their starters healthy, rested, and off the injury report, it'll be crystal clear why this approach matters. At the end of the day, what really counts is showing up whole in January, and Baltimore is doing everything it can to make sure that happens. Kyle Hamilton's situation is a clear reminder of just how seriously the Ravens are taking player health in 2025. With a team this talented and so close to Super Bowl level, losing a key piece because of carelessness just isn't an option. John Harbaugh and his staff are standing firm, and every choice now proves they've learned from past mistakes. They won't repeat them. Hamilton missing practices has definitely set off alarms, but also shows Baltimore is thinking long-term. No rush, no unnecessary risk. The goal is simple: protect the team's most valuable players while there's still time. Because when the season really gets going, the Ravens need to be ready, complete, and fully armed. With their recent injury history, this cautious approach might just be what keeps their run alive through January. So, Flock Nation, what do you think? Are the Ravens right to play it safe, or should the starters be getting reps now to build rhythm? One thing's for sure. If Baltimore keeps their key guys healthy, very few teams in the NFL will be able to stop this squad. Because when the Ravens are whole, they become a real threat at the very top of the league.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself. See you there, and until the next video, go Flock.